So, hi everybody, it's Richard from the Homeschool Freedom Club, and I'm doing another one in the series of interviews, just asking different parents from around different parts of the world, how they get on with home educating, with world schooling, with the travelling, and how they fund it, how they're able to afford to live like this, because it is, the financial aspect seems to be a big barrier to a lot of people actually participating in this lifestyle. So with me today, I've got Ashley, who's kindly agreed to come and have a chat with us about what she's doing and how she's doing it. So welcome, Ashley. Thank you.
Hi. I'm so excited to talk with you. Yay.
No, it's lovely to chat with you. Now, Ashley's currently, she's from the US, as you've probably gathered, and she's currently in Bonnie, Scotland, and doing a bit of travelling around the UK for a few months. So, Ashley, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself, about your family, where you're from?
Sure. My husband and I are both from Alabama in the southern US. We grew up there, and it's beautiful but very, very hot. And so we've always enjoyed traveling. And before we had kids, we did a fair bit of traveling. And then after having kids, we have three,
Hmm.
three little boys. Um, we kind of were trying to figure out how we would keep doing that. Um, Most people kind of hang it up after you have the kids, and we didn't want to. So my husband and I met working at the railroad,
Uh-huh.
and it was a good job and good money. But when I got pregnant, we decided I would stay at home with the first one, and so our income was like cut in half, our
Yeah.
household income right from there, because we both worked the same job prior. And so and it was an interesting job. It was a train dispatcher, which is kind of like an air traffic controller for trains.
Okay.
So interesting, but not the best work environment. So honestly, I was happy to get
Yeah.
out of it, but my husband was kind of stuck, still working and supporting the family as we continue to grow our family. So we ended up having three little boys. They are now 9, 6, and 4. And after the littlest one was born, I was kind of ready to get back into doing something for me.
Uh-huh.
Um, we could have used the extra income, and I just needed to like use my brain in a different way. So I ran into copywriting. I found a copywriting course. It was Sarah Turner's Write Your Way to Freedom, and it sounded like something I could still do from home and still be there for the kids and bring in extra money. And so it started like that. As far as I feel like I'm answering questions you haven't asked yet, but
That's
it just
okay.
all kind of flows together. Um, that's how like I got into a making money at home, work at home type job. I took this copywriting course and worked on it for about 6 months and got my first client. And things grew very steadily, and it we reached a point um, about 2 years after buying the course where we realized that I was making more an hour than my husband was making in his job, and decided to flip it. And he decided to be the stay-at-home parent, and I now work, and that gave us a ton of location and time freedom,
Yeah.
which is what let us kind of move into getting to do what we're doing now, which is the road schooling, world schooling, homeschooling.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, so there.
So,
It's like
so,
the
so
little mini.
yeah. So you're now sort of the full-time breadwinner. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So we are a single income family, but
Yeah.
just without the constraints of a like traditional 9 to 5.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. And so, I mean, what sort of copywriting do you do?
So I write a little bit of everything, but my primary focus is in email marketing.
Hmm.
It kind of shifted. Like I started writing blogs
Yeah.
for early childhood businesses. Were kind of where I decided to put my focus. Everyone says to niche down, and
Yeah.
it's always a good idea.
Yeah.
Um, I came from like a love of Montessori and early childhood development, um, self-taught. I just read a bunch of books and
Yeah.
read a bunch of blogs. And so when I started getting into writing blogs, that's what I wanted to write about too. And so I started off writing blogs, and then the business has kind of shifted and changed as I have found what I most enjoy. So email is a big part of that, and getting to kind of work in the back end of systems. So I don't just write them anymore. I also set up automations and do a little bit of the design. And it's a really fun mix of like creative and analytical. You get to look at the
Yeah.
data and see what works and all that stuff. And so the business has shifted, which is one of the fun parts of having your own business is you get to just
Yeah.
go where your interest takes you. So
And like, as a copywriter, do you see AI as a threat?
you know, it was a little scary last year
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
when it was booming and everybody was talking about it. Um, but I have played around with it some, and I think it makes a great brainstorming tool,
Yeah.
but it's not a replacement for like real human connection.
Yeah.
And so I feel like if you truly understand the skill of copywriting and how to tell stories to connect with people and move them through that buyer's journey,
Yeah.
that's so important. Then and AI is not going to replicate that
Yeah.
very well. So it, I don't see it as a threat. I see it as a tool, and it's going to be a tool that I think writers are going to use more than your average business owner.
Yeah.
Um, Things have definitely picked back up from the AI frenzy where everybody was like, I don't need a writer. AI can
Yeah.
do it. And then they're realizing like it's still a lot of work because you still have to fix it and
Yeah.
fact check it and so many other things that business owners just don't have time
No, I mean, I sort of played around with AI a bit toward, last year, and
for. Yeah.
to write posts and things on Facebook or whatever. And honestly, it just looked like I was on drugs or something. What was coming out? I've sort of kind of given it up now. And you're right. I mean, for me, it's as a brainstorming tool,
Mm,
putting together some courses. It's been great for kind of brainstorming on that and content and things. And the kind of the subject matter rather than the actual content, should I say? And yeah, it's been an interesting kind of journey, but it was at the moment no, it can't replicate human kind of heart, as it were.
yeah, no, it can't. I've gotten to the point where I use it sparingly just because I end up spending more time editing what it comes out with. And there's you can
Yeah.
learn how to prompt it and spend a lot of time working on getting your prompts right. I
Yeah.
like writing, so I'll
Yeah.
just do it myself and save the time.
And like so obviously you're saying that your husband's kind of at home full time, or he's not working, so he's full time with the kids. But you're traveling around, you're going to like lots of cool places, and you're kind of like, oh, I've got to work. Do you find do you have like a routine whereby it makes it more possible for you to get out to go and see the stuff that the others are going to see, or do you sometimes just feel like you're just a little bit left out?
Yeah, I'm still working on that routine. Before
Yeah.
we did this bit of international travel that we're doing now, we RV'd around the United States
Oh
for
wow.
about 7 months. And that kind of helped because you had your home base and it went with you. And we always try to plan to stay in a place at minimum 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We really prefer to be somewhere for a month. And I think that takes the pressure off a little bit
Yeah.
to need to like go and do and see everything right now.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
I would not work well that way, and I would start feeling left out or start feeling behind in my work. And so that helps find that balance of getting to explore, while also having time to get my work done. So this is interesting being here in the UK because a lot of my clients are 6 to 8 hours behind me. And
Right,
so,
of course.
so I've been able to kind of shift and like work more in the evenings
Yeah.
when they are also sitting down and like just sitting down to work, and using the days to explore. So
Yeah.
it kind of you work at it and you figure out what works for you. It's not
Yeah.
like the easiest thing to get right, but you find a groove depending on where you are.
No, I mean you're right. I mean I had the opposite last year. We were in Mexico, and
Yeah,
so there was like a 6, 7 hour time difference. We were behind the UK, so
yeah.
consequently, but that was really nice actually because you could get so much done in the morning.
Hmm.
I'm an early riser anyway, so I'm out of bed and I'm up hours before everybody else. But that then it was particularly great because I was able to participate in calls or whatever, and and just get work done, and then sort of think, right, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, I'm done for the day. I can switch off now and
Exactly.
just go out and enjoy. So yeah, you can work around it. It's just getting used to new routines and new rhythms, isn't it? Really?
Like, yes, yeah, it's just finding kind of what works for you. I love like async work where it's you're not having to like hop on for lots of meetings and things. I don't have a lot of clients that demand many meetings throughout the week.
Yeah.
That's just not like the freelancer, like
Yeah.
copywriter, business owner lifestyle. A lot of email communications and the occasional like hop on a call, but you can really kind of work when you feel like is the
Yeah.
best time for you, and that's been really nice. I am not an early riser,
Yeah.
and I like that
Yeah.
about this work. I can sleep in. I don't have to set an alarm, and I can enjoy my coffee and then get to work when I have a brain.
Actually, I'd love it. I didn't realize you'd lived in an RV for 7 months. That's something I've kind of fancied doing, sort of traveling around Europe in a similar way. But I've always wondered, just been a little bit concerned. I don't know how old are your boys, by the way?
9, 6, and 4.
So, I mean, how was that in a confined space? Because I mean, young kids have a lot of energy. Boys, especially, are pretty noisy,
This is
and
true.
and
Yeah.
you're trying to copyright somewhere in the back, or I don't know how. I mean, how did that work?
Um,
Because
so
you're
you
kind of on top of each other, aren't you? I don't know if you'd feel kind of a bit, I don't know, constricted by that, or
Yeah, we were in a I guess what would be considered a fairly large RV, but it was still like, it's a home on wheels. It was a
yeah,
41-foot fifth wheel. I don't know what that converts to. But but we had like a bedroom at the front and then kind of the living space and then a set of bunks in the back.
right,
Um, so I just would go up into the master bedroom and close the door. Brian, my husband, would try to get them out and about outside at least. Like you
yeah,
really you want to be somewhere where you can utilize the outside when you're
yeah,
in when you're in a
yeah,
camper. And you know what? It worked. The only time that got hard is when we were not traveling as often and kind of hanging out more stationary,
yeah,
um, closer to family for a while. Then the space really starts to like seem small.
yeah, yeah,
But it was a blast getting to go everywhere and travel. We saw parts of the United States that we had never seen,
yeah,
and it was great for the kids to have like their stuff all in one spot. So where world schooling, you're
yeah,
living out in suitcases. You can't possibly take everything they would like.
yeah,
Um,
true,
the RV gives you a chance to still like have those comforts of home
yeah,
with you as you travel, and it was a blast. We kept too many toys, like way too many toys and we've brought too many with us over here. But but it's nice for them to kind of have that stuff that's theirs with
Yeah, it's
them.
just something from home, isn't it, as well? If
Yeah,
they're feeling a bit homesick at any point, yeah, they've just got a reference point.
yes.
Oh no, that's great. Well, thank you for that insight because I've never, it's something I've sort of wondered about and just, yeah, we've got an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old and just sort of pondering really
Those are
whether it would
loud
be a good
too.
idea or not.
Yeah, you make it work and it just
Yeah,
becomes like that's living day to day. Like honestly, it didn't feel that much different living in the house that we sold, like the 2,500 square foot home.
yeah,
Uh, didn't feel that much different than like our little tiny camper as far as day to day living.
yeah.
The adjustment period was much shorter and easier than I expected.
Oh, that's really interesting. Thank you. Well, I think we'll sort of leave it there. That I mean, that's lovely. Thank you so much for that insight. And if anybody's got any questions about becoming a copywriter, would you mind if they sort of got in contact
Oh,
with you, or because it's one of
yeah.
those things that I've seen kind of crop up in the group. People have mentioned copywriting. I didn't actually know any copywriters to refer people to. So, as
Oh,
to how to do it.
definitely. Yeah, have them reach out. The course I took was fabulous, but there's a whole bunch to choose from and you don't even necessarily have to start with a course. You really just have to find a good way to study the skill
Yeah,
and then get out there and do it. And that's the best way to learn. So anybody who wants to get started can drop me a message. It's been a life changing for
yeah.
us being able to pursue this type of work and free up our time. And yeah, I'd love to chat. I could talk with you for hours. So
Yeah.
I feel like we've just scratched the surface.
Yeah. Well, go on, go on. I'm happy to carry on.
Oh
I
no,
have
I mean
fun.
we need to keep it, people need to be able to fit this into their day. But yeah, if anybody wants to talk, like I'm
Yeah,
always happy to chat copywriting or passive products or any of it.
yeah,
It's all fun and a great way to yeah, free up your time and get moving, get going.
yeah. All right. So, what would you say? If I was going to start copywriting, I mean, I guess it suits certain types of people. Maybe you obviously need a bit of what creativity, um, you know, um, probably a bit of organisation as well if you're doing the back end stuff. But I mean, what would you say are the main characteristics you need to be a successful copywriter?
Um, I would say if you enjoy like studying people and behaviors, if you've always kind of been like a people watcher, if you really like digging into why people do what they do,
Uh-huh.
uh, and if you have a strong uh, a strong bit of empathy, you
Yeah.
can be a great copywriter because so much of it is stepping into the shoes of the people you are talking to and relating to them in a way that they trust you to give them a recommendation.
Yeah.
And it's a lot less about selling and more about matching the right people to the right offer.
Yeah.
And and you just have to be able to understand people to do that. And um it's great.
Yeah.
It's a blast to kind of uh yeah, uh dig into just the psyche of people. So
Do you need to have any specialist knowledge of any kind to do it? I mean, I guess it depends on, like certain subject matters maybe, or do you have clients that give you like a task or some sort, and then you have to go away and kind of research a bit to be able to sort of fully understand the topic and write about it, or do you tend to stick within sort of certain areas that you already have knowledge and expertise in?
it's great to start in areas that you already have knowledge and expertise in.
Yeah,
Um, you get to like that voice of customer, using the language that the people that you're speaking to would use is important. And so if you're already knowledgeable about these people, like I started writing for early childhood and writing to parents, that was
Yeah,
my jam. That's the Facebook groups I hung out in. Those are people that I
yeah,
understand. It was really easy to write in a way that connects with them because that is me.
yes, yeah,
But I also have written for like uh kind of more of a B2B, um, like automotive industries. And that requires kind of stepping back and doing your research and digging
yeah,
into the pain points and the needs of these people you're trying to reach.
yeah,
Um, and so it really depends on, yeah, how knowledgeable you are on the topic. Uh, but every business needs a copywriter, someone who understands the buyer's journey and can take that from a marketing strategy to actually being in front of people where
yes,
they get to read it and explore it and decide if it's right for them. And so anyone can do it. I would say the biggest thing to remember is it's not as complicated and technical as you might think. It's really about connection and writing how people talk, not writing like the essays that you grew up doing in school.
yeah.
Um, I see that being one of the biggest hangups is everybody wants to write this flowery language uh, because that's what you were told to do and you want to sound smart.
Yeah,
It's not about that. In fact, everybody's like, dumb it down a bit, like bring it down. You want it to be easy to digest. You want people who are scrolling to see it and know exactly
yeah,
what you're trying to say. And so um, you just keep it simple and clean and write like people talk. And it takes practice, but it's one of those skills that I think most people are capable of doing with the right amount of study.
yeah. Just a bit of, yeah, a bit of practice. That's
Yeah, a bit
great.
of practice.
Oh, that's really interesting. And thank you for that, Ashley. That's really cool.
Sure. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Like I said, I love talking about it.
Oh, you can see that as well. You can see you've got a passion for it. Yeah.
And it's been a blast. So yeah.
Oh, well, that's lovely. Well, I'm going to call it quits here. It's been really, really lovely to chat to you. Enjoy the rest of your stay in Scotland and England and Wales, and yeah, I hope you have a fantastic time. I hope the weather's sort of kind as well, because it's not the best time of year to be there. To be fair, so
That's true. But there's been lots of like coats and hats and
yeah.
bundling up, but we've still gotten out and yeah, it's been nice. So thank you so much.
All right,
I'm definitely enjoying it.
you're welcome. Take care. Thank you,
Yes, you
Ashley.
too. Bye.
Bye bye.